What's up, guys? It's me, Christian Rodriguez, and I wasn't gonna film this today, but I feel like I need to film this, right? Because I met, I came across some people, and it made me realize I need to talk about this because I think a lot of men need to, they could learn from this, and that's about kind of the title of this video is gonna be men kind of have to suffer in silence, and what I mean by that is now, this is kind of a sensitive topic, so I want to be very careful in how I word things or how I say things because I'm not saying that whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, doesn't doesn't matter. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you that never seek out help, right? If you really need help with something, because I get it. I really do. I genuinely understand that sometimes you want to talk to someone about something, you want to vent, and you want to just like tell people about your feelings or whatever it is. But it's just the rules are different for men. Like I have to say it. Like it's very different. It's not the same. And I don't mean to say this to sound like a dick or sound like someone who doesn't care. You know, I'm personally I've someone who who's done things and I've struggled with things. I've struggled with my own things in the past, even in the present. I've struggled with my own things, shit that I deal with. And the stuff that it made me realize is that, at least what I've learned from my experience, is when you start telling people like your problems, right? Whether a girlfriend broke up with you and you feel very sad, your job is shit, you feel freaking miserable at your job, whatever it is, and other things like that, like other issues, right? The truth is, no one really cares. And I don't want to say that to offend you, but I'm saying it because it's the truth. And when you're a guy and you start saying that, people start viewing you differently. Even if they viewed you positively before, they're gonna start seeing you as, oh, this guy is weak, or this guy has no control of his emotions. I can't trust this guy because he clearly can't handle this, or that, right? And people, they don't trust you. They'll see you as weaker. You vent to your girlfriend. Your girlfriend might be like, she might genuinely be supportive, but then after a while, she's gonna be like, okay, this guy is not a man for me. I need a real man. This guy's kind of a bitch, right? Women do think that, right? So the truth of the matter is you can't do it. Like you just can't. Like men don't have that ability to do that, right? And when I say suffer in silence, it's kind of hard. It's a harsh thing to say, but I do believe like obviously it depends, right? If you're struggling with business, maybe you talk to a mentor who's been through the same thing and they understand a solution, right? Uh you have some knee pain. Maybe you go to a doctor and the doctor talks about your issues with your knee pain, but you shouldn't be bitching about like to someone else who can't help you, who has no responsibility to do that, right? That's the point that I'm making, right? If you need help with something, you need to improve a skill, then maybe you should figure out how to improve that skill. You kind of have to take action towards it, but like you can't just talk and complain about like your issues or your problems. Even if they're true, they could be very, very understandable why you feel that way. But it's just, people are inherently self interested in themselves, right? They're very self interested in themselves. People also have their own issues and problems and struggles that they're dealing with, right? So when you're venting out your problems, what you're kind of doing is you're almost in a way like telling them like, oh, like get put energy into my problems right now because you don't have these problems. But they might be dealing with something even deeper. They might be dealing with something else, right? And I know this sucks. It's not fair, but like women have this luxury, and this is not to trash on women. I'm just saying women can afford to do this, right? A woman gets upset, she starts crying. She's upset about something. She doesn't feel good about something. Maybe she feels very upset, depressed, whatever it is. Everyone will console her. Family members, friends, they'll all give her a hug. Men who want to sleep with her, they'll all be like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll give you a hug. I'll take care of you. It's okay. You'll be fine. They'll console her and make her feel better. Men don't. No one does that for a man, right? In most cases, yes. If you're within reason, of course, right? Because I don't want someone in the comments to say, yeah, but what if you're? Yes, of course. If someone's parent dies, if someone very close to them dies, right? There's some exceptions to the rule. So of course men get a pass for that. But if you like lose your emotions, you kind of show that you're maybe depressed or stuff like that, like words like that. It just doesn't help you. If anything, it hurts people. It makes people want to get away from you. So just be very careful when you tell people that. And the way I would combat this, I'll give you an example just so you guys understand. So I when I worked at a sales job, I used to work at my first sales job that I worked in. It was in New York City. I was a sales rep. We were selling B2C. We were raising money for charities in New York City, and what we were doing was we were stopping people in the street, and we would get them. Basically, they didn't give us iPads. They just gave us an app on our phone. They're like, download this on your phone, and basically have them put their credit card in your phone, and you get their info, and then they pay you whatever it is, maybe 500 if you're lucky, maybe 250, 100. If they keep rejecting, then $50, and the lowest is like $15. So basically, I had to do that all day, right? 5 to 6 days a week, right? Sometimes we would travel for it too, and I found it very, I hated the job. I really did, and I remember I wasn't good at sales, so I was just like, I hated it so much, like I really despised it, and I was like kind of miserable too. I remember telling my boss like I'm struggling with it. I'm very frustrated with it. First time, he was like lenient. He's like, yeah, it's a tough job. And then I kept like saying it. He's like, man, that's not good, man. And like people like stopped trusting me. I remember I lost my attitude. And like there was like gossip behind me in the office. Like people were talking about me, saying that they can't trust going out in the field with me because they don't want to have to babysit me, right? And you see, that's another reason why you don't gossip, because when you gossip, it always comes back. Someone always finds out that you were gossiping about them. So just remember that. That's an example of why you shouldn't gossip. But yeah, I heard this person gossip about me, and I was just like, oh, fuck that guy. But at the same time, everyone probably felt like that in the office. And that's because I probably should have kept that to myself. I probably didn't need to talk about that with someone, right? And that's an example of it. You almost have to like change your mindset towards it. You have to change how you feel about it. You have to change. It's kind of hard because it could be shit in the moment. This is why I always vouch for like reading books, right? So like the book that I'm reading now, I'm rereading it. It's called The Obstacles Away by Ryan Holiday. And, I'll show it up right now. This book, The Obstacles Away by Ryan Holiday. And basically, he talks about different things. He talks about how like expect failure, right? I know Ray Dalio talks about this too, but he basically talks about that. See failure as a feature, see failure as a byproduct of success, right? And it almost like makes me like view the struggle differently, because I would read this book and I would understand the terms from it. And that's kind of how you need to see it. Like if you're struggling with something, right, it may be different, it may be similar to mine, whatever it is. Just remember, if as a man, you can't really like, it's you can't talk about it with people unless like they can help you. Maybe, sure, if you really need to talk to someone about it, get a therapist, right? Just get a therapist, but you don't need to go vent to everyone about how you feel, because it doesn't help you. It actually makes you look weak. I'm telling you, men have different roles than women. So you want to you want to keep that to yourself. If you have to journal it. If you have to read self-development books, read self-development books. You could start with this one. This is a really good one. If you have to watch YouTube videos, which this is great, but I recommend, if it's really bad, go see a therapist, right? Do something about it. Be proactive about it. But don't Don't start venting your problems to people, because try to people will view you differently, right? And I get it. Maybe a girlfriend dumped you and you really had feelings for that girl, right? And maybe she ended up cheating on you with another guy. That's painful. I get it. That's super painful. But at the same time, you have to understand that you kind of have to, like, as a man, you have the responsibility to be seen as stoic, to be seen as someone who's tough, who's a leader, right? Someone that uh, people can go to if there's any sort of issue, if they need your help for something, right? If you're going to that person, if you're going to people and you're always crying how you're feeling about getting cheated on, or you're complaining about your problems, people will lose trust in you, right? They'll see you differently. It's just it's just a reality. It's of human nature too. And don't think that this is only an exception, right? Like this, of course, there's exceptions to it. But if you like, even if your wife is you think your wife's an exception, she hears you out. I guarantee you, women don't want to hear it either. Women don't like hearing it. Women will see you as a weak man, and they will start looking for a stronger man. They'll be like, "Oh, I need a stronger man because this man's not a man." So just hear me out, and just take a proactive measure. If you feel like you can't deal with it, get professional help with it, but do not vent to people that you know about it. That's basically what I'm saying. And yeah, I'm going to leave it from there. I hope you guys found value in this video. I'm going to keep creating more content. Subscribe and take care.